Hey everybody, welcome to the What Do You Dream podcast. I'm Nick and this is Kristi.
Hello.
And today we are talking about reoccurring dreams.
That we are. Have you ever had a recurring dream?
Yeah, I've had a few. Um, I think I've had probably two that I can remember. Would you like me to regale you of what it is?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is I always go into my old primary school when I used to be in Melbourne. So I would just every single time it would be completely empty. I would go through the library and try and find people, but no one was there. And it would, I would take different paths every single time, but always start the same way. So that was one of them. And the other one I used to have was, have you ever heard of the game Duke Nukem?
No.
So it's kind of like Doom. You know Doom? Like a shooty
No.
game? Oh my gosh, you
No.
suck. Why are we friends? Anyway, so for people out there who don't know, Chrissy, Duke Nukem is a shooter game where it's a dude with sunglasses. He's a cool badass and he's killing aliens. And there's if you press a certain button trying to open a door, but you can't find the doorknob or whatever, the entrance, he goes, "Where is it?" Trying to find the doorknob. He'd be in a cave, and then he would say, "Where is it?" And then all these bats would appear, and then I'd wake up. That would happen, like for a while when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So they were the two reoccurring dreams that I always have. And I had another reoccurring. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, there was one other reoccurring dream that happened in when I was about a teenager, and it was
Mm.
always this like brunette that would always be like, "Hi, I'm," and never say the name, and then I wake up every time as well. So there you go. It's like a
Well,
really shitty reoccurring dream.
uh, yeah. So the first one, going through old primary school and no one was there. That's because no one wants to be your friend.
Oh! Okay, wow. Okay, let's cut
And
straight into it.
that's probably because you play that stupid Doom game, whatever it is that no
Dude,
one's heard
Nickum,
of.
you suck. Oh my god, so many people out there are like, "Kristi, you are so wrong for so many reasons," and
Hey,
I
hey,
believe
hey,
them.
hey, 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 hey.
Horses eat it.
I'm a gamer, okay? I play games and I've never heard of that one before.
I'm a gamer. What do you game with? I know what you game with, but
Um,
let everyone
okay,
else
this
know.
is so lame, but I'm currently obsessed again with Crash Team Racing.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What? It
Okay,
is
that's something.
the
That's better.
best game. It is
Mario
such a
Kart.
good game.
Mario Kart.
Okay, well, yeah, that just shows how lame my life is.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, so
and
first one is I have no friends, so thank you for that.
yeah, yeah. You didn't need to tell me a dream to figure that one out.
Yeah, obviously.
And what was your second one again?
The one
Um,
where the guy is on like in the middle of a cave. I can just see it, but he says, "Where
oh,
is it?" And then all the bats come out.
and all the bats. Did you go through a Batman stage?
Nah. Like, I mean, like I enjoyed Batman, but I wasn't like, "Yeah, I'm Batman," none of that stuff.
Uh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know about that one. Maybe you were just obsessed with gaming.
I
I don't know.
was, but I still
Because you
am.
still have no friends.
Guys, okay, can everyone please email us at whatdoyoudreampodcast@gmail.com and just tell Kristi how wrong she is. That she's and
uh,
tell her to stop being mean.
or just send us your dreams. I mean,
That too.
this is a
Oh yeah,
no
that too.
judgmental zone, okay?
Obvious.
We have no right to judge anyone because our lives are clearly nothing to brag about. So
Mine's pretty good.
just send us your
Saying.
dreams.
Send us your dreams. Let us know, and then Kristi can say you have no friends too.
No, because that person will be my friend. Because they send us an email. They'll send us a dream. They can be my friend. Be my friend.
Be my friend, please. And this is the whole elaborate thing. It's not about dream analysis or anything like that. It's just an elaborate way for us to
I
get
just
more
want friends.
Yeah,
I
that's
just want
the simple
friends.
thing.
Um, so I have had I have two recurring dreams, and I really wish they were nice dreams, but they're not, and they scare the living daylights out of me.
Oh, nightmares. Like, are they
I know.
nightmares or are they
Actually,
like
you know what?
surreal and they mess with you?
They're, they're actually, I'd probably say they're nightmares. I couldn't think of the
Okay.
word. Because
Nightmare.
do,
It's like a fundamental. It's either a dream or a nightmare. It's like a
but like,
spectrum.
do adults still have nightmares? Like, I
Yeah.
remember having nightmares as a kid, but do you still call it a nightmare when you're not revealing my age, but when you're
Ancient.
someone of my of my years and wisdom.
Look, everyone
Um,
knows you're at least double digits, so there you go.
You'd want to hope so. I
You'd
do
hope so.
sound like a 10-year-old child, by the way, but I am not.
And I'm not
Um,
talking to a 10-year-old child on a podcast because that'd be strange.
that would be very strange.
That'd be very strange.
But yeah, so okay, nightmares. That's a good, yeah, okay, that's a good word to call it.
They also have night
Um,
terrors. It's the same thing where you like wake up from, or you like scream in your sleep while you're sleeping. That's another thing. No, that's for
I don't
another
think
day.
I don't think I've ever done that.
No,
But I
I've
have
never. I've woken up like punching, swinging. I've done that before. Yeah.
I yeah, I see. I have woken up crying from a dream, but I've
Jesus.
never. Yeah, that was. I seem to have really sad dreams. What's that got to say about my life?
Yeah. Your subconscious hates you.
I know. I know. Uh, yeah, I've woken up crying from a dream, but yeah, never
Swinging.
screaming
Maybe it's
or
like
yeah,
swinging. Like,
throwing
I think it's a
punches.
dude thing. I think every guy out there has tried to swing out something or like fight. So be like, oh yeah, you go on, I'll get you. You know, I think every guy out there's every guy's
That's
out there's
because
had a
men
dream like that.
solve their problems with violence, whereas women
Sometimes that's just what
bitch
you gotta.
behind.
It's just
Yeah,
women
the
cry
women.
when wake up and cry.
Yeah, or women just bitch about each other behind their back for weeks and they don't talk to each other, and
And then we
then
cry in your sleep, like just like
yeah,
real
pretty much,
ladies.
pretty much. Um,
So wait, what are your dreams?
yes.
What are your dreams? What are your recurring
Okay.
nightmares? I should say.
So the first one is very apocalyptic. So I'm always at a beach, and a kind of like a young culture thing for in Australia is kids will go to the beach, and normally we have natural pools where it's just like it's an enclosure, a pool enclosure, but seawater actually goes in and fills it, so it's not being filled by peoples. Um, and normally around the uh, fucking what do you call it? The
The
natural
edge.
pool. Yeah, the edge. I have not drank anything
You are
today, by the way.
linguistically challenged. God
Oh,
damn.
fuck! I'm definitely challenged in some sort. But so around the edge, there's a railing, and normally kids will hold on to the railing when a wave comes and hang on for dear life as it smashes into them. So apparently that's a thing that kids do here. I don't know if they do it in other countries but I've
It's
seen
called survival of
heaps
the
of kids.
fittest.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's why. Yes. So in my dream, I'm near the ocean and I'm hanging onto a railing, and there's just wave after wave after wave, like smashing into me. And every time the waves get bigger and bigger, and I'm talking waves the size of like a 4-story building. So there's
Jeez.
obviously no way I'd survive, but I
No.
apparently survive every time.
Oh, good on you.
But I know, right? Come at me, Hunger Games. And but I'm always gasping for air every time, obviously, because I've just been underwater. But so the waves get bigger and bigger every time, and they get more frequent. So at first, yeah, I don't know, there's probably a wave one every minute, and then they just get one every, I don't know, 40 seconds, and then one every 30 seconds, to the point where it's just constantly one every like 10 seconds. And I have a fear of like being underwater for too long. So whenever I watch a movie and there's like an underwater scene, I find myself holding my breath for no reason, as if I'm the person underwater. So it freaks me out because I'm just kind of like, I can't breathe, but I can breathe. But yeah, so that's a dream that I keep having all the time.
Well, that just sounds like an anxiety dream to me. That just like the waves are just everything in life that you're stressed out at that moment, and it just wants to drown you, but you're at the same time fighting it. That's what it sounds like to me. Does it come out during a time of particularly high anxiety?
Honestly, I don't know.
Or you just high strong?
Probably. Yeah, yeah, that would be it. Ask my husband; he'll probably agree to that. But
special guest next episode.
oh God, no. I have it probably twice a year, I reckon. And it freaks me out. I absolutely hate that dream. I hate it so much. And I dread ever having it. And I don't know why I keep having that dream. I've probably had it twice a year for the last like 6 years, I reckon.
6 years. How long have you been
Mm.
working professionally?
Ooh, probably about 6
6
years.
years?
Nah, it'd be longer than 6 years, surely. Nah, I've probably been working for about 8 years.
Okay, because you could, so I could argue, I'm thinking along the lines of the first 2 years, you kind of just like wading through it, but then after that, it's like when you hit that 3 year onward mark in some jobs, it starts really getting heavy as well. And it also could be 6 years ago, time in your life where there's more responsibility, more stress, more pressure. When did you move out? When did you move out? How long ago did you move out?
About 3 years ago, but
3 years ago, okay, now.
I feel like 6 years ago, I was still that carefree, I don't give a fuck attitude. I do what I want.
Yeah,
I'd still go out partying every Friday, Saturday night.
yeah.
So, and
God, that
now
sounds
I'm just
exhausting.
like, no. See, I kind of miss it, but then I'm like, if I'm not in bed by 9 o'clock,
Oh, damn,
I hate
grandma.
life. I know. I'm not even 30 yet. It's so.
Oh, there you go. You've
Ugh.
aged yourself. Everyone can do the maths right now and see where.
Yeah,
the
okay. Well,
numbers
they know
fall.
I'm not 30,
So
so.
they know you're not 30. Well, I have no shame about my age. I'm almost 30. So there you go. Take that.
But yeah. And then my other recurring dream is I've had this for years, like I reckon since I was a kid, but I don't have it as often as the wave dream, where it's a haunted house, and for some reason it's like old rickety, like your standard haunted house.
Yeah.
Right? It's dark inside, there's mist, there's fog. There's floorboards, and every time you step on them, it's rickety and it makes a noise. And the
Mhm.
banisters on the stairs are like crumbling to pieces. There's cobwebs everywhere, and it's massive. Like this house is massive. It's kind of like a maze, and I can never, ever, ever get out of it. And I'm currently walking around this place trying to get out, walking up and down stairs trying to get
Mhm.
out, and I can never get out. But then there's a train inside the house, like a spooky kind of steam train, and it always like passes me, and I try to get on and I can never get on because I know that to get out of the house I have to get on the train, but I
Yeah.
can never get on the train. I always miss it by this much. So yeah, and it just freaks me out because it's like dark in there, and there's like I can hear noises, and like I know I'm not the only person in there. There's someone else in there with me, but I don't know what it is. And it just, yeah, that freaks me out too. I hate that dream.
It sounds like when when you're like home alone and then you're like, I'm fine, and
Yes.
they're like, I'm not fine. Like you hear something like, I'm gonna get murdered. Like that's what it sounds like. It's just this thing of like, I'm
You
gonna
turn
die.
the light off. You turn
Yeah.
the light off in the hallway, and you run for your life to get
Yeah.
to
You're like,
the
okay,
lounge room
okay,
or to get
okay,
to your
okay.
bedroom.
Go. Especially if it's windy
Literally.
or anything like that, and you hear like the branches moving, and then you're like, oh no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna die. This is gonna be bad.
Or the house cracks or something. I hate it.
Oh, the house settling is the worst. I think, I think that just goes to prove there is no God because of house settling, not because of all the murders and everything else. No. Like when you think someone is walking in your house and it's gonna be
The
end of
whole
days.
house cracks.
Yeah, is the house
See-
gonna collapse in on me?
You know what I hated the most though? When I used to live with my parents, they had ducted air conditioning, and there was a vent in my room, and I always thought there'd be someone in the vent, and like someone looking out of the vent, looking down at me when I was sleeping.
Hello, Kristi. Yes, you sleep. You sleep.
Literally. And I was always so scared to look up at it at night because I'd just see these white eyeballs staring at me through the cracks in the vent.
Oh my god! Did you ever have possums in your roof?
No, we never had possums.
So we have possums in our roof regularly. So if I'm not having a great night's sleep, I will hear them scratching, and
Oh,
it's horrifying.
okay. Have
Okay,
you
yeah.
ever heard? Okay, obviously you have, but the noise a possum makes.
Yes,
It
it's like that.
sounds like
Sorry for everyone
someone's
listening
dying.
just then. It's something. It sounds like something is fighting, dying, and biting something at the same time. It is
Yes.
awful.
Yes. Okay, so for those who don't live in Australia, you need to Google the sound of an Australian possum, and it is the most terrifying noise.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband, when he before we got married, he lived at home with his parents, and they lived in a bushy area. So their whole backyard was just surrounded by bush. So they got everything like kangaroos, they got snakes, they got possums, they got everything. And I remember the first time staying over, he had his window open because I need to sleep with fresh air. Fun fact. I don't know why I brought that up, but I just feel like you need to know that. And I woke up from my sleep because I could hear a noise and it literally sounded like someone was getting murdered.
Yeah.
And I woke up my husband and I was like, "What the hell is that noise?" Because he's like in the middle of the bush, so I don't know. I don't know, is someone dragging someone off in the middle of the bush and murdering them while we're all sleeping? But it was the most terrifying noise. And he's like, "Oh, it's just a possum." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, possums are the cutest little animals and they make this horrifying noise.
I remember once. I think we caught a possum in one of those relocation cages, not like a
Yeah.
trap or anything to hurt him, but we had to relocate a possum, me and my dad, and my dad picked up the cage, and the possum just pissed all over him. And possum piss, for anyone out there, it's worse than human piss because it's just funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, oh my! And I think following that track of possums, I remember once. I think this was years ago now, when I was in high school, and I remember smelling something off. And I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it was coming from my brother's room. And we're like, "What the hell?" Because I thought he'd like had a ripper up a fart or shit the bed, something like that, something like. But it was worse than shit. And it turns out a possum had died in the roof. And
Oh.
no, but like it's worse than that. It like somehow like leaked from the roof and somehow got into the carpet like from the so we had to like completely clean out and it was foul.
That is disgusting.
It is but the possum stopped coming for a while, which is great because it probably smells like dead Uncle Possum. What happened to Uncle Possum? Oh, he died in that evil roof.
Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, yeah, there's nothing worse than like smelling a dead carcass. Like
I've only smelled one.
Oh,
Makes you sound like you're a psychopath. Like, I've got all these, but no wonder you're dreaming about like haunted house. It's probably your regular house. Like, it's your regular house, and this train is people trying to leave your house. Like, you're probably chasing someone trying to kill them, and then the train is the cops trying to get you, and you're trying to get away from it.
Oh, I know. Maybe, yeah, you might have a point there. But we go camping a lot, and you know when an animal has died because it just reeks. Like it's a distinct smell and it wafts. Even if there's no wind, it wafts, and it is just disgusting.
So for anyone out there who really wanted to know the smell of a dead animal, I really hope you enjoyed that moment. That was a classic Kristi moment.
Where I just
delightful but psycho,
and I just talk about crap. That's what this podcast is: me having brain farts and talking about crap.
And dead bodies.
I never said humans, okay? I just said carcass.
I didn't say humans. I have to clarify that. We got Ivan Milat. Oh, what's the female version of Ivan? I don't know. Yvette Milat. There you go.
Yvette Milat. Ugh.
Watch out.
Actually, talking about Ivan Milat. So I also ride a dirt bike, and my husband got me into it. So we decided to go riding one day, and he didn't tell me where we were going. And then all of a sudden, we turn into this estate forest, and the sign said Blangalow State Forest, and I was like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" Because for anyone who doesn't know, Ivan Milat was like a serial killer here in Sydney, New South Wales, and he would pick up hitchhikers and kill them and take them out to Blangalow State Forest and bury them. There was something, I don't know, I think it was double digits.
Yeah.
Of people he killed and buried in Blangalow State Forest.
Yeah.
Anyway, So he's decided to take me riding in Blanglo. And the whole time, just the vibe of that place was so creepy. Like, it was, I knew I was on a dirt bike, and I knew if anyone was chasing me, I could probably get away. But
I mean, yeah, you'd hope so, unless they're not even Usain Bolt could catch you.
okay, that's me riding a bike is like putting along at 30 k's an hour.
Okay, fine.
Only hitting like second gear, not even getting into third. So
for any perspective, murderers out there looking for an easy target.
just look for a green Kawasaki.
There you go.
But it was funny because we were riding down this track, and then at the end of it there was a fence, and it said there was a sign there saying you can't go through, it's private property, blah blah blah. So we kind of just stopped to sort of have a bit of a rest, and then all of a sudden we saw this other person on a motorbike coming up the same track, but it wasn't a dirt bike, it looked like a road bike, and he was dressed in really strange clothing, and we could see him getting closer and closer, and I just said to my husband, like, this is where we die. This is how it ends. Like,
This is it.
my mind just went straight into, oh my God, Ivan Milat's been, he's gotten out of prison, and here he is. He's come to get me because he knows I'm here in Belangolo.
She's here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, how did he know? And so he rides up to where we are and gets off his bike, takes off his helmet, and he's like, oh, just wondering, can you go any further? And I'm like, no, the sign says you can't go any further. He's like, oh, okay. So you haven't gone any further? I'm like, no, we stopped here because the sign said we can't go any further. He's like, okay, do you know what's beyond the gate? And we're like, I don't know what's beyond the gate. We can't go any further. He's like, okay, cool. So he like opens the gate, hops back on his bike, and just goes past the gate, like giving no fucks. And at that point we were both like, okay, and we're going. So we just put on our helmet, hopped on our bikes, and got the fuck out of there. But I think it was more the fact that we were just in Belangolo, and we know the gruesome history behind it, and it's just a creepy place.
So, coming back to that story, I'm trying to think.
Sorry,
of how
we just went
So
on a
it
bit of a
seems like
tangent there.
you have a lot to be scared of. So,
Do I?
or are you?
Because I like to think of myself quite fearless. Like,
Except
I
when
do
it comes
roller
to
coasters and
dirt.
shit.
I'm pretty fearless, like in a controlled environment where nothing bad can happen to me, statistically speaking. Or maybe it could be you just practicing your serial killer hunting. I think that could be it. It could be you might have some untapped murdering potential. Like, there's not enough. You need to bring out the female serial killers, even though it's generally
I really
men.
hope not.
It's some
really
latent.
hope not.
Or it's the same. It follows the same thing as the wave dream. It's the anxiety of trying to get out of somewhere and hit a deadline. It looks like you're literally trying to hit a deadline of getting to the train. How long? How often's that one? How old's that one? That reoccurring dream.
Oh, I've had that since I was like a kid. So that's been a while. But I don't have that one as often as I have the wave dream.
The waves. Okay.
Like that one I'll probably have like once every 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I can remember it vividly. Like, I can remember that dream.
I wonder if it taps into like a memory. Like, did you go to any houses, like old, like a grandparents or something house that you were like spooked by yourself? You were home alone one day.
Well, I don't think so. But my auntie has had dealings with paranormal activity in her house, and my cousin, her daughter, is my best friend. So I stayed at their place a lot when I was a kid, and it could have something to do with that because she used to have dreams about this man with a Bible saying, you need to cleanse your house, you need to cleanse your house. And she would wake up like all sweaty and her heart pounding. Yeah. And there were times, she's got a double-story house too, so there were times when everyone was downstairs, and at night time they'd be watching TV or something and they heard someone running across the hallway upstairs. So she'd go up to see, and obviously there was no one there.
Just possum.
My cousin... yes, it's the fucking possum. That's who it was the whole time. It's this one possum. And there were times when she'd be sleeping and wake up and she'd swear there was someone standing at her door looking at her. And even my cousin said the same thing. Like, she's had someone watching her from her door too. So, yeah, I don't
Okay,
know.
I think that might have to do it. I think that might just be a thing that you've just had in your head since you were a kid, maybe.
Maybe, but I've never had any paranormal experiences. So,
Maybe you're living
yeah,
vicariously.
I don't know. I don't know. I like to believe I had a past life.
What was your past life then? Okay.
I think I was around in the 20s. So the roaring 20s.
The roaring 20s. Depression isn't coming yet. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I 100% believe I was, because I love the 20s era. I'm obsessed with it. I love the music. I love the attire. I love how men wore suits and were gentlemen and women were, proper ladies. And
I don't think any of that happened, but okay.
Hey, it happened in Downton Abbey, okay?
In the 20s? Wait, I don't even know how far Downton Abbey goes. It was probably more like, instead of just like, oh, hey, love, you want a roost? Like, hey there, love, you got some nice chaps. You want to have a bit of a hanky-panky? You know what I mean? Hey, hey, hey.
No, I like to believe the 20s were a civilized era, okay? I like to believe that men were gentlemen and women were ladies and... Shut up.
That's interesting, because for anyone who hasn't listened to episode 2 yet, Kristi does mention a period of time where it was the 20s and everyone was prim and proper. Maybe you're secretly a prude, like you're an old, like back in my day when I was this old, that could be it.
Do you know what? I've reached a point in my life where I'm actually saying, oh, they don't make things like that anymore. They don't make music like that anymore. Oh, these days everything's made so cheap it breaks after one use.
Okay, boomer.
I know. I've actually hit that point in my life. And then I'm like, wow, when did I get old?
You've always been an old soul.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think I was alive in my 20s. And
you are alive in your 20s. I mean, you'd be dead. I was dead in my 20s, and I, came around in my late 30s.
I think I had a tragic death. That's what I think I had. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think you
died? I think I was either. Huh?
Do you think you were like a? What do you think you were?
I was
actress or a musician lady or a creative lady or.
I think I was a singer. I was a singer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you have a husband that went to the Great War? They came back, wasn't the same?
It's all about me. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was a singer, and I think I dabbled in burlesque.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know.
Oh, now I'm going to have nightmares.
Yeah, I think I had an interesting life. I think I was sort of not famous, but people knew me. I was probably up and coming.
I always find past lives funny because everyone's like, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that." And it's like I was probably a dude that lay in the street and took a shit in the corner. Like, no one ever says that. No one goes like, I probably didn't have a toe because I couldn't afford, it was too cold one winter and I had to cut it off. You're like, Jesus Christ, why you say this old specific stuff?
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever like, I don't think I had a interesting life. I think I was just a regular old Joe over here.
It's old Joe, or it's like everyone's like, oh, I was Jack the Ripper. It's like no one ever wants to be the prostitute that Jack the Ripper killed. Like,
yeah,
I was the hooker that Jack the Ripper killed.
I probably was that person that Jack the Ripper killed. I had a tragic death.
It was like, oh, you did the burlesque shows, and then you're like, that's not making enough money, so we'll make a bit more money on the side. And even though Jack the Ripper was much earlier, but
oh, was he? I don't know.
He was like the 1800s or something, wasn't he? Like turn of the century.
Okay. I don't know.
This isn't a history podcast. This is a dream podcast, and you're ruining my past dreams.
Yeah. So those are my 2 recurring dreams. If you can remember them after all that babbling.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Now I'm going to try and see if I have a reoccurring pattern for my dreams now, but I don't think I've been having any lately. But, that's But yeah, that's pretty cool. We actually have our first submission for dreams.
Wait. Someone emailed in.
Someone has emailed us at
Holy.
whatdoyoudreampodcast@gmail.com.
This is so
And
exciting.
so they want to
you.
remain
Thank you
they
to
want to
whoever
remain
emailed.
anonymous because
That's
it
fine.
seems like it's a very short dream, but it's still the dream. And
That's fine.
they write in saying, "Hi guys, I've just heard the podcast, really enjoying it. I've got a really short one for you, but I think I know what the answer is, but I just wanted to run it by you and see what you think." So
Go.
so it reads, I was in the office, whatever that is. They don't say what kind of industry it is, but I was in the office and I was with a coworker, and we were both having a conversation, but we weren't talking English. I'm like, okay, what? Okay, I don't know what. Well, it doesn't say that they were speaking anything else, just as not speaking English. So then someone comes in who we think is our boss, but it's not our boss, and they give us a cupcake that says, "Thank you for your work." And then I pick up the cupcake and I throw it out the window, but we don't have any windows. I throw it out the window, and in English, I say, "Fuck you." I think I know what it's about, but I'd like to hear guys' opinion. Love the podcast. Keep it going. Thank you, Anonymous.
Oh, okay. It's very straight to the point, isn't it?
It's very
There's
straight to
no,
the point.
Fluffing about.
There's no fluffing
like,
about.
This person knows what they want. This person has, is not a fluff about person. They have priorities and
they're efficient in their dreaming and their messaging. They are on brand or whatever. They do not like their job. If anyone out there who lost the subtlety in that, they do not like their job.
I was gonna say the only thing I really got at that is that you hate your job, but someone's trying to keep you there. Someone's trying to
with like a
make
token gift.
Yeah, trying to bribe them into staying in their job.
Hey there, buddy.
But they're just like, no. They're like, fuck this. I'm so done.
It's so Anonymous. Look, maybe you should look for a new job or find out ways to make it better. Let us know what happens. If this dream develops any further, just make sure you send us that email on the update. We'd love to hear from you. And again, if you guys are interested in letting us analyze your dreams, just send it to whatdoyoudreampodcast@gmail.com. And I think, that's a pretty, I'm not going to say good note to end on because it was pretty goddamn, fuck you, I'm done with your shit.
That is a good note to end on. I like
that.
That
is a good, it's assertive. It's a very assertive message for everybody out there. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If indeed you still are. I've been Nick, and this is Kristi saying thank you so much. Farewell.
See ya.